In this week's episode, we will be talking about my late uncle's house in Phoenix. We'll call it Medlock. Creepy. I lived in this house for many years, and I'm joined by my best friend and guest host, Raji Clark, who is here to share her experiences and stories about Medlock. Welcome, Raji.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on to our show. So this is my very first episode series of Half Haunted. I call it Half Haunted because I'm into the paranormal, but I like humor, so I put two together, Half Haunted. Um, so as a teenager, I lived on Medlock. You've been there many times, and my first experience was I think I was about 14. My brother and I went to go visit my Uncle Terry, and we stayed in the house, and my uncle would tell us on the walls, like the pictures on the walls would be cricket on just one wall, you know? So I was like all like in the living room, like it just depended on the day.
Remember that your grandmother and your dad had reclining chairs against the wall, that the back of the chairs were in the direction of the kitchen, correct?
Correct. Yeah,
they were. They could look out the sliding door to the backyard, correct?
Correct.
So if you're sitting how they're sitting, which wall had crooked pictures on it? Because I don't recall this, but I thought I did hear Jesus in there. Tell me about it.
So it would depend on the day, really. Like one day the wall by the dining room would go crooked, and we thought he was full of shit. We were like, he's trying to scare us. This isn't happening. So my brother and I had the picture straight on all the walls in the house. And
Wow.
his room and their room was across the hall from us, and they didn't get out of the room at all, and we didn't get out of our rooms. And in the morning, the one in the dining room wall was cricket. All the pictures were cricket. And we were like, no. So my uncle's not full of shit. It was just a weird vibe in there when I moved. So fast forward to when my dad had the stroke when I moved to Phoenix. Actually moved to Phoenix in the same house. My uncle had passed away in the house in 1998, and I moved there in March of 99.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a weird feeling because I already knew it was haunted before he died, and then now he died in the house. So he died in the room I was supposed to stay in, right? And so my dad wasn't home from the hospital yet, and I would not go anywhere in that house without my grandmother. I was like a 21-year-old. I would not go anywhere in that house without her for the longest time. I remember one time I was doing something in my uncle's room. He died in the room I was supposed to stay in, and his actual bedroom was across the hall with the shower, my dad's room. And so I was taking a shower in there, and I was whistling to myself, la la la, la la, and something whistled back at me. I said, hell no, not today. And I grabbed my stuff, and that was it. I never went anywhere without my grandmother in the house. But it was wild.
So one time, Candy had gone. Where did you all go? To Laughlin without me? I don't know, but I house sat, and I was there a couple of days, and I remember one time that it was at night getting prepared for bed. I went to go to the kitchen and to get some water and go back to the room. And I looked down the hallway because she had a semi-long hallway. I'm looking down the hallway because I started hearing noises. I'm like, what the crap is going on here? And I'm hearing hello. And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, what is going on? Is it time? You calling me? And it was the freaking alarm that I set, because they had an alarm that you set, but it had a motion detector for the hallway. And it freaked me out so bad. And the people like, do you know the password? Do you know the password? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's this. Because they go, you better be glad that you told us the password, because you were going to have the police and the fire station at the house. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. The next day I wake up and I see Jolly Rancher candies all over the place in the living room. And I'm like, I've been out here watching TV, and I didn't pay it any mind. I just picked it up. And I can't remember if you had Hershey, the dog, then or not. But I remember there were no wrappers on the floor. Picked them up. Stayed another night, went back out there, and there was like 2 or 3 wrappers, and there was 1 wrapper in the room. I'm like, no. Oh,
It's wild in that house.
I'm not the greatest person when it comes to hauntings. I make bad faces.
We all know this.
I don't have silver bullets, garlic, holy water. I don't have a virgin with me in case I have to throw someone down and take off, because my black ass can't handle the situation. And I'm like, no. So Candy comes back from her trip with her dad. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on in your house. I already set off the alarm and didn't know that. And there was wrappers on the floor. And she's like, you know what? My grandmother loved Jolly Ranchers. And there was always wrappers on the floor. You should have warned me that this happened. Because I didn't see any crooked pictures. Because seriously, if she told me about crooked pictures, I would have lost my shit. Literally, I'd probably have to camp out in the yard with the turtle. Because didn't you have a turtle then too, or a tortoise?
I think so. We had guinea pigs and a tortoise. Yeah.
That reptile would have had to like be my bed buddy, because I didn't do well. In the time, oh my goodness! Then the murder with the stain in the front of the house.
Oh yeah, we were on the first 48. The people across the street had a party, and I was out and about. My dad was at home with his wife, and they had the whole block cut off, and I'm like, how am I gonna get home? The cops were walking. It was creepy. Anyway, I had to walk and go over bullets. It was crazy, but
it was half haunted. It's half naked. I got a man and a naked person.
Oh my god! Woo.
Oh my god! I'm crying. Good time.
And then
my inhaler.
I used to sleep with my bedroom door open, because my dad's room was right across the hall, and I had this little toy poodle. Her name was Pookie, and she would sleep with me. Well, one night, in the middle of the night, all of a sudden, she gets up out of the end of the bed, and my bed was facing the door against my feet. She gets up, growls at the end of my bed, like someone's in the room, like, how, and I was like, and I looked up, I said, Jesus, is this it? I said, I don't see nobody there, what the hell are you growling at? And she, when the dogs growl like someone's going to come in and take them? That's how it was. I said, Pookie, get the hell out of my room. Scooted her off to my dad's room, shut my door, and ever since then, I've always shut my doors. But it was weird.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm having a moment.
She needs her inhaler, folks. It ain't easy being wheezy. She's not high, it's just her inhaler, I promise.
Oh my god.
And then, I don't know if you remember my Aunt Ruthie.
Oh gee, that's a name.
Yeah. Little backstory on that. God bless her soul, though. She was decent there at the end, but I don't want to talk ill about the dead, but there's a point to the story. Anyway, she didn't, in my opinion, she kind of had a weird smell to her, right? It was distinct. Very distinct. So again, she passed away in 2006, December 13th. In Phoenix. She was visiting for the NASCAR. Anyway, she passed away. And in the middle of the night, a few weeks after that, in the middle of the night, I woke up to a distinct smell. And I thought she was literally standing right on my bed. It was so strong, I had to get up. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're here, but it's time to go. I'm out. But it was just weird stuff like that. And then it was wild because my dad didn't believe any of this stuff either. And he one time said he saw my uncle. It was creepy. Like, my grandma died. Okay, backstory on that one. My grandma, when she was alive, she said that one time she thought I was standing at the end of her bed. And she was like she didn't talk about that stuff kind of a lot. So I said, Grandma, did you experience anything? Because some weird shit's going on here. She goes, well, one night I thought you were standing at the end of my bed. And I'm like, no, I just come in and get you. I don't stand at your bed and be a creeper like that, you know. She kind of giggled. And I said, well, it wasn't me. I said, well, describe what it looked like. And she said, well, it's really tall, black, tall black figure. I said, well, it could be Uncle Terry, I don't know, And,
was he tall?
Yeah, he was
Your
almost
Uncle
7 foot. Yeah. Come from a tall, big family, yep.
Was he a wrestler too?
He was a referee. A wrestler referee, and I think he might have wrestled, but I remember him being a referee, I think.
Okay.
My memory's a little foggy when that era, but yeah, he was a cool dude. Anyway, so fast forward a few months after that, my grandma said that she's sitting in her chair facing the backyard. She was in the chair at the time was facing the backyard, and she said that a white wisp came across and kind of like sat in front of her. I was like, Grandma, were you scared? She's smoking her cigarette. Hell no, I wasn't. And I was like, okay. So Grandma doesn't talk about it. That was interesting. So, and then there would be like the fire alarms or the not fire alarms, the smoke detectors would go off without any batteries. I had to take a hammer to it once, slam it in the ground. Crazy stuff. I mean, my dad and I, after my aunt died and my grandma died, me and my dad, it was just me and him in there, and our rooms were right across from each other, and we literally would hear someone in the kitchen. Like, if something was pulling the drawer out, like you're looking for silverware, and we heard the refrigerator door open and shut. And my dad's like, what's that? I said, I don't know. We're the only 2 people in the house. He's all, we'll go down and check. I said, well, you're in a damn wheelchair. I said, you can roll your ass down the hallway faster and come back. Because I wasn't about to get, freaked out. So I'm a gun owner, or had a gun at the time. So I'm packing, right? I'm like thinking someone's in our house. So I'm doing like the Barney Fife move down the hallway, trying to see what's going on. I turn around the corner and nothing's there. I said, hell no. Hell no.
Right?
It was really
Didn't
weird.
your dad, roll himself off the sidewalk one time and land in the yard?
Oh, my God.
It's not a haunting, but...
It's not a haunting, but it needs to be told. And yes, he clipped Grandma Mo. My grandma's name is Moselle, but we called her Mo. And my dad's name is Tudor, his real name Robert. Anyway, my dad had the ramp to the backyard. The chair was lined up right in his line of fire. He comes in like a bull in a china cabinet, clips my grandmother. Mind you, she has a cigarette in her Inquirer magazine. Not skipping a beat. The chair tilts all the way 45-degree angle. I'm telling my dad, stop it, stop. Grandma's like, just with her cigarette and a 45-degree angle. I finally got her back up on her little platform there. She's like, what happened?
Still smoking.
Yeah, still smoking. That's when she smoked at the time. Then another time, he thought he was funny, and we would mess around with my uncle. Like, my uncle died in the house, and he was, Uncle Terry, that's my uncle's name. He's not going to do anything. Quit fucking with him. You're going to find out. He's going to mess with you when you least expect it. Sure as shit. This is what happened. I was wearing black one night. He was snoozing in his bedroom, passed out. I'm sitting there watching. All of a sudden, those those people had those skulls on their wall, like the Longhorn skulls or whatever. He had, yeah, he had it above his bed, right? And he was fucking with me earlier that day and saying, Uncle Terry this, Uncle Terry that. I said, he's gonna get you. Well, he got him, right? Laid him out cold. I think fell off the wall. It didn't just slide off. It was on there tight. That thing popped off the wall. I saw it popped off the wall. Hit my dad directly in the head. I was like, oh my God, I'm all in black. I rushed over to him. Are you okay? He was like, he couldn't even like talk. He was so scared. And he had a crippled up hand. I laugh now. He was laughing, but he was scared shitless. Because he was up smoking the rest of the night. Oh, I need to lay with a baseball bat. I thought you were trying to kill me. I'm like, I wasn't trying to kill you. I was trying to protect you. I told you quit messing with Uncle Terry. He's going to get you.
That's right.
Look what happened. He got a big old knot on his head. He was okay, people. He wasn't, no concussion, but he was scared shitless. It was just weird. And so, fast forward years later, we got out of the house. I was his caregiver. And another caregiver took him to his new physical therapy appointment. And they're, you know how they do the interview, like, oh, where do you live? You know, all the intro stuff. And she looks down and she's like, oh, you live on Medlock, and the address, whatever. And my dad's like, yeah, why? She goes, well, I was raised there. I was like, really, Dad, what happened? She said that there was a ghost when she was there when she was a kid. That the same thing would happen.
Wait. Do you mean the house that you lived in, the physical therapist lived in your house?
Prior to us, like when she was growing up.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know that. And my dad told me, he's like, yeah, she said that she lived there and she experienced, like, it sounded like people were walking on the roof in the attic, and then the pictures would mess around. So it's kind of validating our experiences. It wasn't harmful or anything. I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
And then when I was a kid, when we first went, I thought it was harmless. When the lights would flicker and stuff like that, we're like, what? But then my uncle and his partner died in the house. But I just kind of felt like they were there, you know?
Yeah.
But it wasn't scary. But it was just awesome to be like in a haunted house. Yeah. So it was really wild. And I have lots of stories and stuff I could tell you for days.
Lots of stories, new stories that will be told in the future for your travels when you get there.
Yeah, I'll be going. So my little bit about my background is I was born and raised in Albuquerque, and I moved to Phoenix in 1999, the end of March of 99. I was there for up until last year. So I've experienced a lot of stuff. And moving here to Illinois, 2 hours north of St. Louis in a place called Quincy, Illinois, it's been quite the experience. I've never seen this many cemeteries so close to each other. I literally have seen 6 or 7 in like a 20, 30 minute, expansion or expanding or whatever you want to call it. But I love it. There's a woodland cemetery here. I guess it was built in 1846 by John Woodland, and it is an amazing, huge, 60,000 people are buried there. And they have actual mausoleums and headstones. I was there today, actually. It was so peaceful, and it's over the Mississippi River. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice. And then I'm going to be doing more adventures. I'm going to Missouri State Penitentiary. That's the oldest, I believe it's the oldest penitentiary in Missouri. It's been in the 1800s, and they're having ghost tours and stuff. So I'm going to go check out the history and see what I can find and stuff like that. It should be fun. Have you ever had any weird experiences in your lifetime or when you were growing up in New York?
No.
Nothing crazy?
My grandmother blessed the crap out of our house.
Yeah.
She blessed the crap out of our house in New York. And then she blessed the house that we live in here. When we moved to Arizona, we lived all out on the mountain in the Carefree area, up to 17 and Carefree, way back in the day, temporarily. Mom didn't like being out there. Nothing. Then we moved down to a house off of, 51st and Camelback. Nothing. We moved to an apartment. Nothing. And then from that apartment, we live in the house that we are now. So nothing. So if anything crazy were to happen, which has not, would be only energy, because some people's mothers think they need to be hoarders. So it's just bringing in more maintenance and heartache from hoarding, but nothing, haunted, spooky images, nothing like that of the matter. So the only other adventures, for the most part, which was not as many as you, is when you would take me places.
What's that one we went to? We were at the Satisfied
Downtown.
Frog, and then remember we came back and I scared the shit out of you with the, oh my God, I see something.
It's funny that I mentioned it to you. I was thinking that right as I was talking. I'm going, we were at the military. We were driving down Cave Creek Road. We were coming back from the Treehouse restaurant, I think. Because I think we had the lady in red with us in the car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she, first of all, was that the day that you had to help me because of rickety ass plastic chairs? Tammy took a tumble over here.
Yeah, it's cracked.
You're trying to help me up off the ground.
Yeah.
People, plastic chairs suck.
Okay? Yeah, they're not
nasty. We are in Arizona in the valley. It gets very hot. Plastic and heat don't mix. If you're plus size, plastic and plus size don't mix. Plastic heat and plus size don't mix. But anyway, we were coming back and we went to the military museum. The military cemetery is right next to mausoleums, where some of you all may know. Is it Charles Schultz? Who did Family Circus?
I thought it was Schultz, but I could be wrong.
Okay. His tomb is there. So you have all the Family Circus characters around his tomb. Well, I remember we were driving or whatever, and Candy had to scare the crap out of me because she saw a ghost or something, and I just am not that person. I don't do well.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, if you're going to scare me, I need moon rocks or winning lottery numbers. I need some money.
Moon rocks.
Seriously, I just need some money. You just can't be hurting my soul and my heart, making my hair turn gray.
Yeah.
Without paying me.
But I got you though, because I'm what they call an empath, sensitive. I don't necessarily see ghosts or whatever, but I can feel people and surroundings and stuff, and I know when something's off or whatever. Call it intuition, empath, whatever. But I got you. I know how to protect myself, so it's always fun when you're with me. And then we went to see tell us about your adventure with me in the San Carlos Hotel, the ghost tour.
So, okay, that wasn't the day we went to the wine and cheese bar. That was a different day. So we went to the San Carlos Hotel. So let's see if I get this correct. San Carlos Hotel is where Marilyn Monroe stayed, or did she stay at the Westward Ho?
There's been reports of her staying at the Westward Ho and San Carlos Hotel.
Yeah, but JFK stayed at one of them stayed one place, and either way, they would stay in each other's rooms, however that works. But we were at the San Carlos Hotel. So we did a tour there. Nice hotel, but we did a tour there. And part of the tour, you start the tour on the bottom, you go outside, you cross the street, they point at the building, and they tell you, history of the building. But while Candy and I were standing out across the street, there was a room that's locked that no one stays in. and we saw images crossing by the window. And I'm like, and they're like, no one is in there. No one should be in this room. And I'm like, oh, hell, here we go. We go inside. We go up to, what floor is it? You can stay in rooms that Marilyn Monroe, JFK could stay in. It's a higher price, but you can. Yeah. They told us that there were some lovers. Did the person break up? It's always been. There's history.
Yeah, I guess
Remember
somebody.
The person that jumped off the roof?
Yeah, and they took their own life.
Way before our time.
Right. Yeah.
But we went to the basement. We went down to the basement, and we're standing around a water filter system. So decades ago, I don't know, centuries, what year it is, I don't recall anymore. It used to be a well. Well, I guess it was a children's school. Some children were playing. They were playing ball. The ball got kicked into this well. I guess a kid fell in there and died. So we were all staring around this filter system that used to be the well in the basement. And the lady who was doing the tour was saying sometimes, they'll tug on your clothes or what have you. And Candy was a couple of people away from me, and I'm in capri pants because I got long legs, and tall people don't always have the greatest.
I was standing in the back because I'd already had been to the ghost tour, so I knew what was going on. I wanted to make sure you had the full experience, but go ahead.
And I'm standing there, and something yanked on the left side of my pants leg. And I almost shit myself because I'm like, she takes me on these fucking tours, and I need a drink after this. She's trying to have me roam cemeteries and whatnot. And that thing yanked my pants. And I all but did what you call the movie The Exorcist with the girls' head spins all the way around. And I looked at her, and my eyes got really large, and I'm freaking out. I'm all but sniveling and got nose bubbles like in the Blair Witch Project because I'm not used to this. So I don't know how to be cool. And then she goes, and we're going to go to another part of the building. And I'm like, yeah, let's go, please. Let's go. So I did not see when we went. There was some construction towards the top floors of the building, but people were taking pictures because at this time there were no smartphones with cameras.
Right.
So, we're still doing the whole Kodak Fuji disposable camera route, and people are trying to take pictures because they would see orbs or they would see some sort of, it's not energy. What did you call it in the corner? Remember? Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I thought I was in that one part where I guess it was closed off to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought us into the bathroom and into the shower stall, and I was like, oh, let me go in here and check it out.
Yes.
And I'm like, nope. And I felt like a weird energy, and it came right back out.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
But you could tell you walk in there, and it was like you're walking into the 30s, 1930s. It was a wild. And even Ghost Adventures, that show with Zach Bagans or whatever, he did a show on San Carlos Hotel, and he found some stuff too. So
a lot going on there. And correction for me, it's Bill Keane who did Family Circus, and Charles Schultz did the Peanuts characters.
That's right.
Yeah, I knew it was one of those two. I'm like, something ain't right. Yeah, Bill Keane. But yeah, Arizona's got plenty of stuff. Oh, and by the way, what's the name of the hotel in Jerome? The Grand Hotel?
Yes, I think.
You cannot go in there unless you are staying there now.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, my sister just told me that. But there's plenty of other stuff. We have plenty of other stuff here, and we have ghost towns. You got ghost towns out there? Have you?
The whole place is haunted. Yeah, but I didn't know if you had a ghost town like Arizona's got ghost towns. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there has to be some around here. Matter of fact, I think it's 15 minutes north of me, near Mendon. There's 7 cemeteries all within a few miles of each other. But ghost towns, I don't know. I don't. There has to be places has some history.
I mean, shoot.
Right?
Find you some water like they. What was it? Where were we watching? And was it Lake Mead? Was that the one we were watching with Lake Mead?
Yeah,
and they kept hearing noises and stuff.
Yeah.
Not good. I'm gonna stay on a lighted road.
Yeah.
With a bathroom. Yes. Oh God. I look forward to hearing other stories, and I know there's got to be something somewhere that I can also chime in. But like I said, most of my stories have been with you because, you know, I've never really even partied in a cemetery. You know, you go during the day, you find friends that you went to high school with, and they party that night at, you know, graduation night, and they don't see the next day, so you go over and pay your respects and so forth. But I've never really gone at night and just sat there, or like I said, party. And I mean, we're not partying with anybody that's buried. It's just being there. That was never my thing. So,
Right.
Yeah. I don't think I have any cursed dolls in my house.
Yeah.
There's
No,
no
that's a
Annabelle,
whole
there's
different
no
episode
Robbers.
there. So I think the next episode's going to be like Missouri State Penitentiaries. There's two
Yes.
major ones that are near me, and I'm going to
Yeah.
one on March 2nd on a tour. I like the history of the paranormal, and I like that kind of stuff. So our next episode's going to be about Missouri State Penitentiary.
Is it an actual tour, or do you make your own little tour by reading up on it first and then just walking around?
So I always read up on my stuff first, but it's a 2-hour tour. You can do a history tour or a ghost tour, and I'm doing the ghost tour from 6 to 8. And they go to the gas chamber and the death row and all that cool stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to put some pictures, send you some pictures. Basically, we talk smack, and I wanted to thank you, Raji, for co-hosting and sharing your experiences. Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. Anytime we need to do this over and over, because I enjoy co-hosting with you.
I mean, even have to sit here and just chit-chat and ask you questions about your experiences, because I don't have as many as yours. And I don't have a baby yelling at me. My great nephew, no less. He's a hoot.
He's so cute too. He's adorable.
I can sit here and chime in. Oh, that child. But I appreciate sharing your first episode with you, and thank you for having me.
Hey, anytime. Let us know if you have any other similar experiences. You can email us at halfhauntedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on
one word.
One word,
no dot.
No capitals, all one word, halfhauntedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can look us up on our website at halfhaunted.com. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe and follow for more ghostly experiences. Thank you for listening, and stay half haunted. Woo!